Buckle up, because this countdown dives into real American towns with stories so eerie they sound unreal. These places are quiet, isolated, and tied to tragedies, cults, and mysteries that still echo today. Everything here comes straight from accounts tied to the towns themselves. First stop, Whittier, Alaska. Imagine an entire town living under one roof. A single 14-story structure called Baggage Tower houses homes, a grocery store, and even a post office. In the long Alaskan winter, darkness can stretch over 18 hours a day. Most people do not go outside. Picture the isolation. One building. Endless nights. And a community that has learned to live together in a way most people never could. Now head east to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, a place deeply rooted in darkness. Stories here go back centuries, including an execution of a Native American chief tied to talk of vengeance and justice. In the 20th century, strange sightings and men in black legends picked up. Then came real-world disaster. In 1967, the Silver Bridge collapsed and people died. Later, a freight train spilled toxic chemicals into the area's water supply. These events turned a quiet town into a symbol of mystery, tragedy, and fear. Number 7 on the chill meter is Centralia, Pennsylvania. This town has been on fire underground for decades after a coal seam fire ignited. Roads buckled and changed shape. Random sinkholes opened. Smoke curled up through fields. Drivers saw warning signs appear and disappear as the earth shifted beneath them. It sounds like a video game, and a famous horror franchise was based on this town. Once a normal community, Centralia turned into a smoldering, near-empty landscape where just a few people refused to leave. Then there is Cairo, Illinois, sitting at the meeting point of the Mississippi and Ohio rivers. This location brought huge economic success in the early 20th century. But the glory did not last. As river trade changed and industry moved on, Cairo's fortunes faded. Tension exploded during the civil rights era in 1967. Today, walking through its empty streets can feel like stepping into The Walking Dead. Storefronts sit dark. Blocks feel frozen in time. It is a city of echoes. Number 4 brings the creepiest kind of small-town takeover. Antelope, Oregon. Just outside Portland, a group set up a massive commune. People arrived from India and Nepal. They spread across thousands of acres about 10 miles outside town. The community grew fast. Then it began taking over. Elections shifted. Outsiders were pushed out. And according to reports, they poisoned food in local restaurants and even targeted nearby towns and emergency services. The aftermath left Antelope a ghost town. Even after everything, some followers stuck to the beliefs and kept living in the area. Next up is Colorado City, Arizona, home to a fundamentalist sect of Mormonism led by Warren Jeffs. Here, leaders pushed ideas about pure bloodlines and strict control. The group rejected outside technology and kept a large compound. Reports circulated about young girls being forced into relationships. Jeffs was eventually arrested for countless crimes, but the place remained shrouded in secrecy. Life there still feels cut off from the world. To outsiders, it is a mystery. To those inside, it is a way of life. Then there is a small Midwestern town with a reputation darker than night. Skidmore, Missouri looks ordinary at first glance. But more than 50 years ago, a man ruled the streets with threats and violence, a reign of terror that held the town in fear. One day he was shot on the street in broad daylight. The fear did not end there. On December 16, 2004, a pregnant woman was found by her mother after a brutal attack. Her baby had been taken. For a town of only a few dozen residents, the list of murders and disappearances feels endless. People remember the silence. They remember how fast stories vanish. That is why Skidmore is often called the creepiest small town in America. Thread all these places together and a pattern appears. Towns that look normal on the outside, but carry weight that never lifts. A frozen river city. A building that holds a whole community. A coal seam burning longer than a lifetime. A cult that poisoned its neighbors. A desert compound ruled by a man who ended up behind bars. A river town haunted by tragedy and legends of men in black. A farm village where crimes unfolded in broad daylight and still leave questions no one wants to answer. These are not ghost stories. These are real towns. Real people. Real events. And they are still out there. Some are quiet. Some are nearly empty. Some still have residents living their daily lives in places the rest of the country whispers about. So here is the question. Would you visit a town like this, knowing the history that lives in the walls and under the ground? Or would you keep driving and never look back?